Representative Jackson. Representative Jackson has HCR 129.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. I'll begin by saying that if you remember, when we were dealing with the with HB1, there was an attempt by myself to try to include an amendment to take care of funding that was removed from the budget for the LOUIS Library Network. We were unsuccessful in that endeavor, but we wanted to try to get before this committee and a few others to try to bring some attention to this very, very important asset that we have for post-secondary education in the state of Louisiana. Most of you are probably somewhat familiar with LOUIS to know that it is our consortium that is our library network for post-secondary education. It includes 47 member institutions. To include not only colleges and universities across the state, but also museums and archives. It is a tremendous asset in regard to research for our students as well as our faculty at the university level. And right now it's in jeopardy. With that, it jeopardizes not only the legitimacy of our universities in providing that necessary research, but also it affects accreditation, our SACS accreditation. It also has potential of having an impact on NCAA accreditation, the way we deal with our financial aid from the federal government and otherwise. So it has a very, very broad impact to higher education. And I have with me Ms. Sara Zimmerman, who is with LOUIS, that as really, I think, the real mouthpiece for this issue that can tell you the story of LOUIS and how it impacts higher ed.
I believe y'all have seen the resolution, and the resolution that Mr. Jackson put forward. The resolution that he put forward actually explains LOUIS quite well. The resolution, I believe, was built from other resolutions that have come forth throughout the state from faculty senates and student government associations, and actually the deans of the libraries that are the actual members of LOUIS. In addition, the SACS accrediting president, Dr. Whelan, also sent a letter, and I've seen verbiage in the resolution from her letter. That's what alludes to accreditation of programs and NCAA issues. LOUIS started in 1992 for the very same reasons we have problems today. There were problems back then with not enough funding. The Board of Regents had a task force on libraries. All these library directors got together and decided to collaborate freely. This is not a mandate. They do not have to participate. Over the years, they've had several sources of funds, either state or federal, to prove the validity that they could collaborate. They can share resources, technology, the experience of their librarians, hardware. Everything is shared, and they all have input into how everything runs, all services that are offered and all resources that are offered. What you just heard prior to us coming up here about the textbooks, that is actually something we can help the community colleges implement. One of the things we do is we negotiate prices for services and resources on behalf of the academic libraries for all of them equally. Every single institution gets the same services and resources, whether it's a technical community college. North Shore came up today. North Shore has contacted LOUIS to join us. Or whether it's LSU, which is a research one, and everything in between. You know, we are their infrastructure. We're the back office. There's a staff of 7 that supplies all of the technology that they need, but their committees actually make the recommendations for what we implement. And I guess the highlighted piece of this is this fiscal year alone, we purchased $19 million worth of services and resources for $3 million. And I believe that's what got you interested in this when you asked us how was it we were able to do that. We've been doing it for almost 20 years. We have a great relationship, a partnership with these publishers, with these software providers, and with hardware providers. We are partners. So we say Louisiana is not a rich state. We have X amount of dollars. This is what we're trying to do. Will you be our partner and work with us? And so far, we've been very successful doing that.
The board is clear. What's the wishes of the committee? Oh, excuse me. Cause and support, Marianne Coleman, Louisiana Association of Independent Colleges and University. Dr. Michael A. Walker-Jones, Louisiana Association of Educators. Deborah Moe, Louisiana Association of Educators. And Joycelyn Oliver, Louisiana Association of Educators. I've got one question. Representative Carmody.
No question, Mr. Acting Chairman. Just a motion to move House Concurrent Resolution 129 favorable.
Okay. Okay. I got a light on for Carter, not Cheney. Oh, okay.
There. Thank you, Mr. Acting Chair. Representative Jackson, just a quick question. I don't think anybody on this panel would disagree about the importance of this library function and its just overall importance to education in general. But what amount of money we're talking about, and exactly where do we go and pull that money from, please? Basically, $3+ million.
Okay. I can tell you how much money we need. I can't tell you where you can get it from. We have historically had about a $4 million budget, and that got cut last year. The way membership has always been set up is the regions gave us 70% of the funding, and the membership made up 30% of the funding. The current fiscal year that we're in, we lost all of the region's funding except for $500,000. So we regrouped, strategically came up with some cuts, and the membership funded the entire difference. This coming fiscal year, everything goes up. Last year we had a short year. We only paid what we had to pay, so our budget is actually up a little bit this coming year. So we are in the process of figuring out how to fund it for this coming fiscal year and for future years to come. This coming fiscal year, there are all kinds of plans on the table. We still have a $500,000 commitment from the regions, but that's it. The rest of the money has to come from somewhere. The membership has always put up about $1.4 million, so we have about a $1.8 million gap this year that we're looking for funding.
Membership meaning universities all across the systems?
Yes, sir.
Is this something that would Representative Jackson would have to come back to appropriations for some sort of looking into where that pot of money is?
I think ultimately it would. What we wanted to do was to try to offer to as many as who will listen the opportunity to understand the impact that this has on our institutions and post-secondary institutions. So I don't know what's going to happen between now and, a special session or, whatever's going to happen. But I think that we're trying to lay the foundation right now that this would get some consideration. And hopefully we can get it before the Appropriations Committee and try to work out some sort of funding, not just for, this present fiscal year, but as we move forward, some level of funding.
If it leaves this committee, will it be referred to Appropriations directly from the Speaker, or does it go to the floor? I'm just asking the question. Does it go to the floor? Because I would suspect that Representative Fannin would have to probably object to it if there's not a funding source. And so I'm just asking about the logistics of how this works to get it out of here. Again, we're very mindful of the importance of this.
Right. There could be a number of ways to approach it. We could offer the resolution back towards the Appropriations Committee, as you suggested, or we could try to attempt to amend the bill in the form of a conference committee report once we get HB1 or HB2 back over here in the House. If any of that happens, but I think that we're going to take as many bites at the apple as we possibly can to try to include this as a reasonable amendment for funding.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Acting Chairman.
Would you like staff to chime in on that?
Sure. If there's anybody that can help us do that, Mr. Jones.
Where are you? Jones.
Mr. Acting Chairman, for the resolution to be referred to the Appropriations Committee, the motion would be to report the instrument with a recommendation that it be recommitted to the Appropriations Committee. It would not automatically go to the Appropriations Committee without that motion.
Are you suggesting that that would be the proper motion to make, Mr. Jones, here, or to wait till the floor and allow the speaker or the clerk to do that?
Do it here.
Obviously, the committee will make the decision, but there is no automatic way that the instrument would go to the Appropriations Committee. If it is the committee's pleasure that it go to the Appropriations Committee, then the proper motion is to report it with a recommendation that it be referred to Appropriations. Otherwise, the resolution will just go to the floor and be up for a final vote. And it's a concurrent resolution, so then if it passed the House, it would then go to the Senate.
I would ask Representative Jackson what recommendation you would make. I would be happy to offer that if that would be your best way of getting it done.
I would not object to that motion, Representative Cheney. If that's
Okay. I would offer that.
Okay, we already
motion,
have a
please.
motion. Which one? Okay. It's withdrawn here, so your motion is to report favorably and recommendation that it goes to appropriation.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Hoffman?
Mr. Acting Chairman, my question was similar to what Representative Cheney, my seatmate, was asking. The language here, and I think all of us support LOUIS. We've gotten emails and we see how important it is, and I've written back that I would do the best I can, but don't want to make promises I can't keep. And I think that's where all are we, and this motion is going to help do that, what you just did. The last wording in this resolution says that we hereby direct the Board of Regents to restore the funding, not encourage them or some word like that. So I don't even know what rule of law that would bring into play, but that's what I was going to ask, and maybe what Mr. Cheney just did takes care of that. So we'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Okay, the board is clear. We have a recommendation to move this bill with a recommendation to go to appropriations. Any objections? If none, that's what it does.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee.
Thank you very much.
I've got a quick
Mr. Representative Carter.